Mass is an occasion to remember the birth of Christ. It is deemed a holy period of reconciliation and family reunion, plus the exchange of gifts. Conversely, this is not always the same, as some have taken advantage to lead promiscuous lifestyles and engage in reckless driving. We checked from pharmacy shops on the sale of condoms.
During the normal period, we sell about 10 to 15 in a day. But during these festive seasons, normally it's twice that figure.
Who comes to buy? The women or the men?
The men.
The female condoms?
We do, but for now we don't have some. Mostly we have young adults coming to buy them. Yes, within the ages of 20, 50.
During festive occasions, you can sell a lot. Say, if you compare the assorted brands we have, say maybe 5 packets each or more. So at the end of, say, every week or every month, 5 times about the 10 different types you have, you can imagine. Goes for about 20 packs, 25 packs.
But previously you would have sold like how much?
Oh, once maybe every week you get about 10 people walking in to buy condoms. But during a festive occasion, if you wait for a while, you even see it for yourself. ECPs, condoms, just going like that. Mostly with the ECPs, it is the males who come for them, but the females kind of feel shy to buy them. The condoms, same with the males.
The same was said of oral contraceptives.
The emergency contraceptives, they are now selling more compared to the condoms. They are having sex indiscriminately, actually, if you say so. Even if you're married, you should know that the drug has side effects.
The worry of health workers, however, is complications that might arise from excessive use of contraceptives.
It can even alter your menstrual cycle, so it shouldn't be used as a regular contraceptive. That is why we call it emergency contraceptive pill.
It is expected that condom sale will increase more in the new year.
Right, that was a social segment, and this morning we're looking at condom sales during this festive period. And I have 2 guests in the studio, 2 medical doctors. Dr. Franklin Glozar from the Regents University College. He's a health psychologist, and he will explain to us the rationale behind condom sales, or why people indulge so much during the festive period. And also Dr. Bright Chewedu, who is a regular here on the show. He is from Max International. Good morning, doctors.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Right. So, Dr. Glozar, let me start with you being a psychologist and all. What is the rationale behind people indulging so much during festive occasions?
Actually,
indulging in sex.
Sex, yes. Throughout history, sexual activity is seen as an activity that individuals engage in when they are excited. Okay, so the excitement is what leads to there's so many other things that individuals can engage in, which is exciting, but sex is seen as one major activity. From a purely,
so anytime people are excited, they want to engage in sexual activity.
And from a purely psychoanalytic perspective, as propounded by Sigmund Freud, who is a pioneering psychologist, he says that behind any excitement, there's sex or sexual. Any excitement is basically sexual, and that whenever individuals are excited, they're more likely to be thinking about sex. Yes. And during the festive season, individuals' libido, which is a sex drive, increases, apparently due to the relaxed atmosphere. People having 4 or 5 days continuously, which is different from the usual Saturday, Sunday holidays. This is a long holiday. People feel more relaxed, less stress, more energy, more time to get to work.
Okay, so basically, people indulge in sex to kind of complete an exciting mood.
Precisely.
Like that.
I mean, there are so many other things I said that individuals engage in as part of being joyous or being excited, but sex is fundamental to those activities.
Okay. Doc, is it usual for condom sales to go up during festive period?
Yeah, that's the usual observation.
Well, I would have thought that maybe for Valentine's Day, yes, but for Christmas. Christmas is about the birth of our Lord and Savior. It has nothing to do with love in that sense.
Like my good colleague said, when the mood is relaxed and they feel excited, there is the tendency to indulge in sexual activity. But then, if you go to town, I mean, like I was out and the clubs were filled with people, the sports, the bars, there's drinking, merrymaking, moral laws are losing a bit. People become more, open to these things. So it's not surprising during Christmas. Then again, not everyone is a Christian. There are other, religious groups in the country, and everybody's just taking advantage of the holiday period to have fun. So it's not so much as, So at that time, you have a lot of people coming in, and then we realize that during the Easter, the Christmas, the Vows Day, and some holidays, there's increase in
condom sales. But is it a good thing? Does that mean then that we are becoming more responsible as a society? At least we are using protection.
Oh yeah, I get excited when I hear this kind of news because it means that people are listening. People are actually practicing what we teach. Because we always talk about abstinence, but it will be irresponsible on our part not to mention protective sex. So, in one of my former institutions, realized that if 2.5 to 3 months after any major festival celebration or something, we have a lot of the young women coming in with incomplete abortions. So it's something we know. So when pharmacists report an increase in condom sales, we get excited.
You get excited. It's a good thing.
Yeah, people are actually taking reasonable precautions. I remember when I was in med school, I think about some time back, there was shortage of condoms in Kumasi or something. And we were like, wow.
Worrisome period for you.
Yeah, because people now need it to protect themselves.
Right, Dr. Gloza, there's this perception that women give in easily to men when they're excited, and you even mentioned it that people indulge more when they're excited. Is this a good thing? Does that necessarily mean that maybe we should cut down on our holidays and things? Is it a good thing for us to have so many holidays because then people will be indulging?
Thank you. As you rightly said, I think it's a perception, and I do not think it is peculiar to only women. It happens both in men and women as well. When individuals are excited, they tend to be much more generous. Yes,
and relaxed.
Both men and women, and as part of feeling excited, giving gifts and all that is part of it. And perhaps you would agree that women receive more gifts during the festive occasion than men. So the excitement from that perspective may be higher in women than in men. And for that matter, the generosity may be higher also.
But is that a good thing? That means every holiday women will be very generous. Women and men will be very generous.
Of course. I mean, there are so many things that we can do in the name of generosity. But looking at it from the angle of sex, it has its own consequences. Unwanted pregnancies, and of course sexually transmitted diseases. So we cannot say it's a good thing, yes, but when individuals are excited, that's what
it's bound to happen.
Yeah, the generosity is part of it.
Right. Dr. Redu, the sale of contraceptives have also gone up. Does that also mean that more single, well, not necessarily single ladies, but does that mean that women are not being very responsible?
You mean in terms of moral aspects?
Yes, and health-wise. I mean, there's the one side where condom sales have increased and then contraceptives have also increased, meaning that some people are also not being very responsible.
Yeah, ideally, would love for people to use protection against STIs, not just against unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah.
But we can't have the ideal situation. So what we have to do is to keep educating people and then keep sending information out.
But ideally, it would be better to protect.
Yes, but
condom-wise.
Yes, but the individuals have preferences and they have their choices, decide what they want to do. But in the long run, if we are preventing unwanted pregnancies, because data shows that, for example, in 2012 we had about 54 million people with unwanted pregnancies. There are about 80,000
worldwide.
Yes, deaths. And sub-Saharan region.
Sub-Saharan
our region, about 80,000 maternal deaths. And we have about 2 to 4% of these people with complicated abortions. So, if people do contraception, we are okay with it. If they would go ahead and do protective sexual practices, then all the better.
That would be even better.
So it means that we have we've come some way. And there's more work to be done.
Yes. So is this a source of worry? Should we be very worried about these statistics?
I wouldn't be too worried about it because at the end of the day, people are doing something. So we just have to keep encouraging people. And there's this thing too that people are quite shy to buy these things. I have pharmacist friends tell me.
What's the difference between a condom and a contraceptive?
Oh, we have things like the emergency pill.
Yeah, if you can buy an emergency pill, you should be able to buy a condom. What's the difference? Everybody would know what it's for anyway.
A pharmacist friend told me that somebody can walk into the pharmacy, hang around and go back.
Because they can't.
There are other people in the pharmacy buying,
buying drugs and things to cure serious illnesses.
Buying a condom and all that. So I think that we need to keep.
So they would rather go and indulge and then come back later and buy the pill.
Yeah, or sometimes human nature in the heat of the moment, if you don't have one on you, so it's dicey. I talk to boys, so I know how it is. So, but then again, better late than never. So if you come for the emergency pill, it's fine. But the trend is that some people, when I come across young women in the consulting room, who go like, I use the emergency pill every time, like sometimes 3 times in a month. It's not supposed to be taken like that. It's supposed to be like an emergency pill. You don't use it as a regular pill. So we need
once in a while in an emergency.
Yeah.
But people are abusing it.
We should try not to create an emergency. You should have protection all the time on you. So I think that we need to go on with the education. And I also want to say that we have family planning units, almost all government hospitals. So people should feel free to go there and then ask for family planning advice. And they'll provide all these things to you. And then also, if you happen to find yourself in a situation where you have an unwanted pregnancy, you can go to a family planning center and then seek counseling. You can take it from there rather than going to the other places to have illegal abortions. I want to use this platform to just send a message across. Yeah.
What are some of the risks associated with using excessive contraceptives?
Like it was said in the video, it can upset the hormonal balance. Yeah. So it must be used as and when it's supposed to be used. So an emergency pill is not something you use like 4 times in a month. You have to prevent that. If you want to go on contraception, there are several methods. They have the IUDs. They have the daily pills that can take.
What are some of the dangers if you use it 4 times in a month, like you just mentioned? Apart from, of course, obviously upsetting your cycle.
That's one of the biggest challenges. And
is that a bad thing if your cycle is upset or changed?
For young women, if you sometimes when you go on these hormone things for too long, it can dysregulate your cycle. You may have a bit of missing your periods and all that. And then some of them too have got this effect of causing you to gain weight. And sometimes it goes on to even cause hypertension in some people. So we have all these things. So as the manufacturer indicated, it's an emergency pill. It's not something you take every day. And I've seen patients who they've had 5 times. Every time they have
that's no longer an emergency, is
it?
Yeah,
anytime they have they take one. And no, you can't do that. That's not what it's supposed to be used for. Yeah.
All right. So we'll quickly go to Studio A and take some comments from our social media pages. Kevin is standing by to do just that, and then we'll return here and continue with the discussion.
Yes, Sandra. So we have some comments in. We asked you. We asked about is an increase in patronage of condoms during this Xmas season good news or bad news? Let's see what you're saying about it. Prosper Silencer is saying this is bad news because we are celebrating the birth of the Savior and not the birth of a gangster who enjoys sex. Wow. So obviously, Prosper doesn't agree with the whole condom sales Xmas. Okay, let's see. Samuel Opon is saying this is really bad because it is not morally fibered. Charles Adu says it is very good news as its purchase and patronage increase. Kudos to all consumers for being responsible. Okay, Charles is saying it is good. Or say Osei George is also saying, I think it's better, safety first. Osei George also thinks it's good to be safe. Richard Dake is saying, in terms of morality, it's bad, but for safety's sake, it's okay to prevent new infections. Okay. Alaji Mashud Yakub is saying, bad news. How can the birth of Jesus be used for fornication? Very bad. Dweller Citizen Kirk says, yeah, it is good. It's going to reduce teenage pregnancy this festive season, as we Ghanaians only do unnecessary things around corners when it's festive time. J. Endo McCoy says, very bad. Abdul Mumin is saying, wow, that's so good because AIDS and gonorrhea is real. If the youth can't avoid quoting, I guess, then they should do it well. Kudos to the consumers. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Prime is saying, very good news, a way to reduce sexual transmitted diseases. Let's take a couple more. Sam James Kwame says, very, very bad. Because we are celebrating the birth of Jesus, and this morally contradicts it. I'll take my final comment. And Ophelia Mana Anderson says, it looks like a good news in disguise. At least it would reduce the rate of STDs and infections in the country. So that's it for the comments on whether the increase of condom sales is bad or whether it's good. We will go back to Studio C where Sandra is standing by. Sandra.
Thank you very much, Kevin. We'll see you a little bit later. Very, very interesting comments there. Dr. Glazer, let me come to you now. So we know now that people indulge more or a little bit more when they're excited or during festive periods. How can we control or curb this a little bit?
Thank you. I think this phenomenon is more common amongst young people. And I think
older people don't get excited?
They get excited, but
they don't indulge.
I mean, because if they are married, of course, sex becomes a normal activity. But for young people who are not married, these days on television and on radio, you have all brands of alcohol, all claiming to enhance individual sexual prowess. So among young people, to control this, the first thing to do is to target alcohol intake, excessive alcohol intake.
The things that get us excited.
Yes, because alcohol is an aphrodisiac, and it's actually boosts an individual's libido, the sex drive. So when you're able to control this, they're in a position to also control the excessive sex during such festive occasion. When individuals try some of these brands of alcohol, claiming to do all sort of things, they certainly would want to give it a try, to test it, to see whether indeed it works. Okay, so and when you're able to control the excessive use of alcohol during such festive occasion, we also help in controlling excessive sex and also unprotected sex. Okay.
Are there any things or drinks or foods or anything that we can take that will actually decrease our sexual drive or libidos? Or you mentioned that alcohol is something that actually makes you. So is there anything that will counter that?
Not really. It depends on the mind and what you think about during such festive occasions. As much as possible, if you engage in other activities which are asexual, it doesn't really take your mind to sex. It helps a great deal.
Right. Doc, do you want to add anything to that?
Oh, well, I think it was a bit funny, the questions you asked.
Which one?
With something that can decrease the libido.
Yes, if alcohol will increase it and make you indulge.
Well, there's also a bit to this. Like, sex is therapy too. So it is.
A lot of it.
Just enough of it.
What is enough? Once a day, twice a day, once a month?
I think enough to suit a normal person's satisfaction. So let's not. I mean, you can't take sex away from the society, and as long as it's something that's been there before civilization, it will be there after we are gone. Okay. During these festive seasons.
So you're saying that it's normal. There's no cause for alarm. We shouldn't worry. It's okay for us to indulge in sexual activities during festive period?
You know, I'm speaking strictly as a scientist, not as a religious person or anything.
Okay.
So I'm just, and one of the things that I face as a practitioner is that there seems to be, into brackets, some bit of hypocrisy in our society. In that, it happens that people, you know, in Africa, we don't really want to talk about these things, but the truth of the matter is that these things do happen, and I believe that we should embark on massive education, because in some countries where they've done this education, they realize these things have gone down.
Okay, what kind of education? Exactly?
Education, people should use protection. And then
so it's okay, you're saying that there's nothing to worry about as long as we are being responsible, as long as we are protecting ourselves, it's okay.
Exactly, because it will still go on.
It will still go on
every
regardless.
Christmas, people would.
Every Christmas,
it happens,
every Easter,
it happens,
birthdays,
it happens
Valentine's
with all
Day.
these, yes. Valentine's Day is a whole love thing. You see it on the media, get your lover a gift, do this, do that. People are organizing romantic stuff. And
so why would you expect that they won't indulge?
People will give gifts, people will just want to have fun. So
and people will be very generous.
So actually in the hustles, we actually expect that 2 months after vows, we're expecting people to come in with unwanted pregnancies and then abortions they've started, so we complete. And it happens, that's a normal trend. So from our point, people may not agree with that. Some people may say, oh, this doctor is encouraging. No, that's not the point. We are trying to say that we will preach abstinence, but it lies on us to also teach people to be responsible, because you know things do happen that you cannot control all the time.
Okay, so then I guess it would be best to say that it shouldn't just be during the festive period. We should record high numbers or increase in protection throughout the whole year. That would mean that society is we are really understanding, and we're really changing, and we're really being responsible.
Yeah, but per observation, these things tend to occur at peak periods. Like, you know, everything has a peak period. So peak period is these festive occasions. Right. Birthday, Christmas, Easter, all these things. Yeah.
Dr. Gwezal, do you have any advice for us? We are still in the merrymaking period. Condom sales are still going up. Contraceptives are still going up. So maybe some advice for us. Since we are saying it's okay, there's nothing wrong as long as you're protecting.
As my colleague rightly indicated, from a purely scientific point of view, it's good news if condom sales goes up. Of course, morally, it's a different issue. Yeah. So I think let's also bear in mind that although condom sales have gone up, there are minimal other people who have not gone in for condoms or contraceptives at all.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, like you said. So I want to say that, well, you know, this is Christmas. Everybody knows what the theme is and the purpose. So we should be sober and be reflective, you know, and we should tone down the excitement and try and be more responsible, not drink and drive, and you know all those things. So we should all, you know, live and see the new year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Happy holidays to both of you, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.